One of my biggest fears when it came to auditioning as a youngster was having to sight read. I never liked doing it. I wasn't very good at it, and I didn't really ever take the initiative to address it in my own playing. So this is something I hear a lot of young students that I work with complain about too. So I want to help you a little bit and hopefully give you a few tips that will make you feel better and more confident about your sight reading. Later on in the video, I'll be outlining 4 of those. Now, what we really want to do is not just understand these tips and these mental tools that you can use, but we need to practice using these tools. So I'm also going to give you a series of videos with some duets on them. I'll play one part of the duet and you can play the other, and then I'll switch so we can kind of play them back and forth. I always heard that playing duets was one of the best things you can do to sight read, so I thought it might be nice if I supplied some of those with you. For you. And the idea is not just to play the duet, but to use the strategies we're talking about. Actively think about them as you're glancing at the music for the first time. And it's this mental process. Maybe it takes 15 seconds to evaluate what you're looking at and have the discipline to go through a checklist. And by mastering this process and getting some discipline, then hopefully when you walk into sight read or next time you need to sight read, instead of your mind panicking and feeling overwhelmed, you can just use these steps, go down your little checklist, and then hopefully that will give you an advantage over just looking at it, panicking, and then regretting however you just played. Number 1, take a second to check out the key. It's a mistake I've made many times. I play it, it goes pretty well, and then I realize, yep, I played a whole bunch of B naturals and it's in the key of F. So just taking a second to check out the key will really help. If you don't feel comfortable with your keys, practice some scales. Odds are for the all-state audition, the key for the sight reading probably won't be beyond 4 sharps or flats. So that only gives you 9 scales to be accountable for, and you probably already know at least 3 of them. So if you'll just take a little time to learn a couple other scales, that should give you a lot of extra confidence. And maybe I can do a video on just scales. Number 2, also check out the time signature. 4/4, 3/4, 6/8. It's probably going to be one of those, but it's really good to know. You know, that's something that you have to know. Number 3, pick a good tempo, not the perfect performance tempo, but the best sight reading tempo. And how I would do that would be to take a glance at the entire excerpt, maybe find a passage that's tricky or a little harder, and figure out the tempo that you can play that successfully at, and then start the excerpt at that tempo. Far too often a mistake I would make is if the first line is relatively easy, I'll start off blazing and then get to the second and third line. If there's some trickier passages, then I just have all kinds of trouble with in there. So you want to pick a tempo that's going to allow you to be successful for the whole passage, not just the beginning, if the beginning happens to be a little bit easier. Number 4, take just a moment to glance at other markings. Is there a repeat at the end of the first line? Is it marked fortissimo? Is it piano? Is it all slurred or are tongued? You know, are there any generalizations you can make quickly about the style just from taking, literally a couple seconds to glance at the markings? Now, as you practice the duets or any of the other exercises, the play-along exercises that are available, just go through these things. There's 4 things. You can go through them very quickly and get in the habit of doing that. And that way, if you're a little bit nervous when you walk into audition, you'll automatically just follow the habits that you've developed. Again, look at the key, know the time signature, pick a good tempo, and quickly glance at the other markings. If you'll do those 4 things, I think it'll give you a little bit of an advantage over just panicking. So good luck with the sight reading.